mostly, if not all, Ryan's doing, because he had a jealous rage when he came back from filming for Deadpool.
There's some nice words, I'll share those. And also more thoughts about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds at Saturday Night Live.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence.
The glitz and glamour of Hollywood are rarely straightforward. Behind the photo ops, the curated social media posts, and the polished award shows, there's always a ripple of tension where ambition, ego, and unexpected alliances collide. And when the names Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni appear in the same headline, that ripple can quickly become a tidal wave of controversies. Right now, these three power players are embroiled in a drama so intense that even the most seasoned celebrity watchers are left speechless. Allegations of deception and manipulation are flying, rumors of jealousy and backroom deals have surfaced, and the battle lines are clearly drawn.
Who owns the production company? Who owns the next movie script? I am going to invest myself everywhere. I'm going to be doing your movie premiere. I'm going to be doing promos and making fun of you, right? I'm going to put myself in the end credits. Like, this is like psychotic behavior, okay? But going back to what they said was mentioned at this party, at the after party, Wayfair was informed that Reynolds approached a senior executive at WME and expressed his deep disdain for Baldoni, going as far as to suggest that the agency is working with a sexual predator. Ryan, personally, and you can take this to the bank, I am telling you right now, this is a fact, this has been confirmed to me, he tried to get Justin Baldoni dropped from WME multiple times before they did, okay? So all of those articles that came out when Justin got dropped, and they were denying that Ryan Reynolds had anything to do with it.
But how did a once promising collaboration turn into a legal minefield that threatens careers, reputations, and million-dollar deals? And why is everyone from top Hollywood agents to social media influencers weighing in on what started as a simmering feud and has now erupted into a full-scale war? Let's unveil what really happened behind the scenes, where hush-hush rumors grew into devastating accusations, and even the golden veneer of stardom might not be enough to shield those in the crossfire. From the very beginning, something seemed amiss.
Mostly, if not all, Ryan's doing, because he had a jealous rage when he came back from filming for Deadpool, when there was a hiatus, the Hollywood strikes, and realized somehow that his wife was getting too cozy with her co-star and director, Justin Baldoni. Now, Blake apparently has a history of falling in love or having a fling with her male co-stars. In fact, she and Ryan both starred in the Green Lantern. I believe he was still married to Scarlett Johansson at the time, and lo and behold, they ended up together. Now, of course, I am not accusing either Blake or Justin of having an illicit affair. I think Justin Baldoni adores his wife. Even in that footage of them slow dancing on set, he spoke about how he loved looking into his wife's eyes, of a birthday message that Ryan Reynolds had commented on Sandra Bullock's Instagram. And this is how it reads. Happy birthday to the inimitable and stunning Sandra Bullock. For your birthday this year, I got us both intimacy coordinators and a HR department and clothing. And this was posted on July 26th, 2023, which is at the beginning of the hiatus. So Ryan has definitely been back home, and if the theory is to be believed, he had enough time to go through, I don't know, Blake's messages. I don't know. I mean, apparently he's quite controlling and he admits to being so, but he would have had enough time to figure out something, enough time for the jealousy to start rising in his belly.
Insiders whispered that friction was mounting between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni while they were all tied to a high-profile movie project. First, these rumors sounded like typical industry chatter. After all, major film sets often become tinderboxes for personality clashes. But unlike fleeting gossip that fizzles out, this tension ignited further speculation when unexpected claims of jealousy arose. Those on the periphery mentioned that Ryan Reynolds came back from filming an intense stretch of Deadpool scenes, only to hear unsettling whispers about Lively and Baldoni becoming too close. Some believed it was purely professional synergy, actors and directors bonding over a shared creative vision.
Says some nice words. I'll share those. And also more thoughts about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds at Saturday Night Live. How could you possibly make jokes about your wife being harassed? Would that have happened if it really went down that way? We'll discuss that. And also the Brian Cronenberg? Do I have that right? The murder trial that's happening. I'm probably messing his name up, but I'll get into it. There's new DNA evidence. Have you guys been following this trial? I certainly haven't, but we got updates for you on that. All these stories and more, they're coming up next on The Rush. We've got Patrick Mahomes' father in court. He admits to making up a fight with John Rocker in New Orleans, says their dust-up was staged. I guess Patrick Mahomes Sr., who, by the way, was on probation for a DUI, he staged a fight on Bourbon Street with John Rocker. How bizarre is this?
Others suspected there might be more behind the friendly banter, especially once the production began to break for the Hollywood strikes. One rumor even suggested that Lively and Baldoni had grown inseparable on set, a notion that quickly raised Reynolds' eyebrows. That sounds dramatic. The backstory only gets murkier. Lively was no stranger to on-set sparks, as fans have pointed out similarities in her past, like how she met Ryan Reynolds in the first place.
Be done with this. Ref, please call Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds out. Just call this out. Because I'm telling you, they are not going to win this. And by the way, I'm going to be honest, I love this, I genuinely love when a hashtag him too situation happens, because in case you forgot, when the Me Too movement broke out, what was that, back in 2015, I might have been the only woman in the world who went around doing events wearing a hashtag him too shirt. This was not a very popular stance to have. There's somebody else I was working with wearing a believe facts. Obviously, you should believe facts and not believe women or believe men. And people were angry at me because so many women were just sharing stories on Twitter, and obviously women never lie. And then I was completely vindicated. Her and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were walking around like, baby, now we got bad blood. You just felt the vibes. And the thing about Taylor Swift is she also lives in La La Land. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen, with being an A-lister, okay? You live in La La Land. You are surrounded by people who tell you can do nothing wrong. They're just a bunch of yes men, okay? Just yes, whatever you want. And so she's probably speaking about this. This is me kind of imagining what happened behind the scenes with Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift always gets back at a guy that does something to her. Taylor Swift, in all of her 97 relationships, has never done anything wrong. She puts it in a song and everyone takes her side. That's her version of a lawsuit, of filing a complaint. She puts it in a song.
They famously connected while filming Green Lantern, and that union was rumored to have contributed to the end of Reynolds' previous marriage. So when persistent speculation arose about Lively's rapport with Baldoni, the Hollywood grapevine lit up with talk of yet another star-crossed entanglement. Whether it was all idle chatter or a real threat to the couple's equilibrium wasn't clear, but it was enough to plant the seed of suspicion. The hush-hush nature of these early rumors added fuel to the fire. No official statements were made, and no side confirmed or denied anything. For a while, fans chalked it up to typical tabloid fiction. Yet behind closed doors, tensions were brewing. Production staff reportedly noticed an awkward atmosphere whenever Reynolds visited set. Body language experts might say his stance was guarded. True or not, colleagues whispered that a confrontation was imminent, and all it needed was a push. Eventually, that push came when unguarded comments slipped out.
As one of the biggest Blake Lively supporters on this app, this footage that I'm about to show you guys is going to make it really, really difficult for me. Sorry, but this girl just keeps digging herself into a hole that I cannot dig her out of. This behind the scenes footage of them filming a very romantic scene, and in the scene it is very apparent that Blake Lively is very comfortable and almost a little bit flirtatious. Just watch. This could have been well before he did something that made her feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that SH did not happen on the set of this movie, but as new evidence becomes available, it is much harder to be on Blake Lively's side, and I am still trying. I think one of the final straws for me, honestly, was when this text message from Blake Lively was released.
Baldoni was overheard praising Lively's work ethic, calling her the heartbeat of the project, while Lively herself casually joked about what a perfectionist Baldoni was as a director. By itself, those remarks were innocent. But in the context of swirling rumors, everything took on an undercurrent of scandal. Jealous glares, side comments about undeniable chemistry, and curious gaps in official interviews formed a puzzle that was far from complete. The stakes were rising, and the seeds of tension were rapidly sprouting into something far more perilous. As the story picked up speed in industry circles, all eyes turned toward Ryan Reynolds. Suddenly, a flurry of allegations painted him not as the charming, quick-witted superstar people adored, but as someone meticulously shaping the narrative against Justin Baldoni. While some labeled this notion far-fetched, others believed Reynolds' star power gave him far-reaching influence that could tilt public perception on a whim. One particularly damning rumor claimed Reynolds had quietly nudged media contacts to portray Baldoni in a negative light. Could a single phone call from an A-lister spark a wave of dark headlines and strategic gossip? In Hollywood, insiders say it's not just possible, it's practically standard. Stories emerged that Reynolds might have urged journalists to dig deeper into Baldoni's personal life, looking for anything that could frame him as an opportunist or, worse, a villain. If these suspicions held any truth, Reynolds' behind-the-scenes influence was certainly formidable. At the same time, chatter circulated that Lively herself wasn't entirely innocent. Some speculated she played a subtle but active part in stoking her husband's jealousy.
But the one I'm talking about today is fired
Perhaps
by
to
Jed
create
Wallace,
distance from
owner of the
Baldoni
crisis
when she
PR
sensed
film
things were
Street
getting
Relations,
dangerously
who
close
sued
to the
Lively
rumor
in
mill's
Texas
spinning
federal
wheels.
court for
Or maybe it was a
defamation. In his
tactical move
lawsuit,
to keep
Wallace
her own
alleges
image
that Blake
pristine,
Lively falsely
making
claimed
sure that
in her
any
civil
suggestion
rights
of an
complaint
untoward
and in her
relationship
lawsuit
would be
that he
quickly shut
participated
down
in
and
the
pinned on
alleged smear
Baldoni's
campaign
supposed
against her.
obsession.
Wallace denied
Of course,
having
these
any
were
part
only
in this alleged
rumors.
smear campaign
Yet,
that
their
Lively claims
persistence
Baldoni's
suggested
PR
that
team
something
orchestrated
bigger than
against her.
run-of-the-mill
And he
drama was
claims that
underway.
he suffered millions
Meanwhile,
of dollars in
Baldoni's
reputational
camp
harm
grew
as a
increasingly
result of
concerned
Lively
about the
naming him
wave
as
of
a defendant
suspiciously
in her
timed
civil
hit
rights
pieces
complaint
that
that she
emerged
filed
right
in the
as
state of
rumors of
California.
tension
So in
surfaced.
Lively's civil
One
rights
such
complaint,
piece
which is
focused
what
on
she
his
filed
personal
before she filed
life,
her lawsuit,
highlighting
Wallace
alleged
is named as a
mistakes from years
defendant.
prior.
Are you going to sue Blake
Another
Lively too?
questioned his
Into
directorial
oblivion,
choices,
Megan.
framing
Wait till
him
you
as
see this
too
lawsuit.
ambitious
It's all
or
gonna be
difficult
based
to
on
work
evidence.
with.
It's not going to
For
be just
many
a
in the
lawsuit.
industry, the
It's gonna
abrupt
be the
flood of
kind of
negative
lawsuit
angles felt
that
coordinated,
is
a media smear that didn't
full
happen by
of
chance.
evidence,
Still, nothing had been
admissions,
proven, and the
documents
public wasn't
which
privy to
proved
the
exactly
intricacies that
what she
only
did
insiders sensed.
and how she bullied
Fans
her
were
way
left scrolling
through the
through gossip
process
sites and
to
social
take
media
over the
threads,
movie
scratching their
and
heads
used
about
her
why a
PR
seemingly
people
random trifecta
to
of big
try
names had
and
become the
destroy
talk
Justin.
of the
There's a
town.
number of
But
different
simmering
defendants here.
controversies rarely
Stephanie
remain
Jones
contained
will be all
forever.
over this
The
complaint.
next
In
turning
retrospect,
point
this is
arrived
all
when
just so
official
scary.
legal
It feels
documents
like a
hit the
form
courts,
of
and the
abuse
situation
against
quickly
Blake
went
at
from
that. She's not a
private
victim
feud
any
to
that she's
all-out
totally
war.
bratty, and we've
Celebrity
gone through much as
lawsuits
well.
aren't new,
But
but
I'm
the
just saying
lawsuit that
the
erupted
fact that he
between
doesn't wanna
Justin
be a part
Baldoni,
for her,
Blake Lively, and
now
Ryan
he's
Reynolds
inserted
felt
himself
different
into
from the
every layer of
outset.
this movie.
Typically,
Something's
Hollywood
very
scuffles
wrong here,
remain
okay?
hush-hush until
But
they're
what else did we
settled
learn from the
behind
filing? Well,
closed
we
doors.
learned that at
This
the
time,
Deadpool
everything
after
spilled into
party,
the open with
Ryan went
rapid-fire
and found
accusations
a
of
William
defamation,
Morris Endeavor.
career
Now, that's the biggest
sabotage, and
agency.
emotional
Everybody's under
torment.
them. That's the one that
For
Justin
Baldoni,
got dropped
filing
from,
suit wasn't just about
and
clearing his
told
name.
that
It was about
executive
fighting to
that
maintain a
they were
career
working
he'd
with a
spent
sexual
years
predator,
building.
referring to Justin
His
Baldoni,
legal
who says,
team alleged a
Lively,
systematic
Reynolds, and other
effort by
members of the
Lively
film
and Reynolds
cast
to tarnish his
attended the premiere for
reputation.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
They
And
pointed
just
to
that,
suspicious
just them
press
having
leaks,
invited
negative
these people
articles
to
timed
their
to
parenting
overshadow
Leslie,
his
so
projects,
it's
and
not
even
true.
rumors that major
No, it's
studios
not.
were
That is
receiving
a
discouraging
fact.
warnings about
Instead
working
of
with
getting
him.
leaks right now
Baldoni's
that
lawsuit also
someone
included references
inside
to
of
intentional
WME
infliction of emotional
confirmed
distress,
that
a
Ryan
claim that
Reynolds
suggested the alleged
going around
sabotage
trying
went
to get
beyond
him
mere
dropped,
professional
okay?
rivalry.
And he didn't
Some
get it, they didn't
question
do
the
it until
viability
lawsuit
of
was
these
filed. They
claims.
immediately dropped.
Hollywood is a labyrinth of alliances, and it's common for actors to jockey for position and influence. Did that necessarily mean Lively and Reynolds were orchestrating a targeted campaign? Yet, as more evidence trickled out, like alleged text messages, behind-the-scenes anecdotes, and third-party witness accounts, skeptics began to reconsider. What if, indeed, this was a case of two power players crushing the perceived underdog? In a dramatic escalation, Lively responded with her own legal push, accusing Baldoni of harassment on set. Her claims indicated discomfort during intimate scenes, as well as a sense that Baldoni took their working relationship too far. Whether or not these accusations were accurate, the implications were massive. Overnight, social media erupted in debates, dividing fans into camps. Hashtag Team Baldoni insisted that Lively's allegations were a strategic counterpunch, while hashtag Team Lively argued that her truths were finally coming to light, and that no one should dismiss a woman speaking out. But the most jaw-dropping revelation was that Ryan Reynolds himself would be named in Baldoni's lawsuit. Many fans assumed Reynolds was simply a bystander or a supportive husband. Instead, Baldoni's legal team planned to implicate him directly, citing attempts to blacklist Baldoni in the industry. According to Baldoni's representation, Reynolds not only fueled the negative narrative but also took overt steps to sabotage Baldoni's relationship with a powerful talent agency. The war was no longer between two individuals. It had officially expanded to a three-way showdown with staggering amounts of money and credibility at stake. For years, Ryan Reynolds cultivated a squeaky clean image brimming with humor and self-awareness. He was the lovable wisecracker, both on-screen and off, who famously engaged in lighthearted banter with everyone from Hugh Jackman to his own wife on social media. So when allegations emerged that he might have manipulated events from behind the scenes, fans didn't know what to believe. Whispers suggested Reynolds had personally approached WME, the powerhouse agency representing Baldoni, urging them to drop him in the midst of the swirling drama. True, this went far beyond petty jealousy or mild rivalry, pointed to a deliberate attempt to dismantle Baldoni's career prospects. Was the motivation purely personal, a reaction to suspicions over Lively and Baldoni's on-set chemistry? Or was it professional, tied to concerns that Baldoni was overshadowing the film's creative direction? Truth, many speculated, might lie somewhere in between. Colleagues of Reynolds, including a few lesser-known figures who once collaborated with him, started leaking hints on social media. Some wrote cryptic posts alluding to past controlling behavior or unexpected rifts. Others painted him as the comedic golden boy who privately displayed unwavering determination to get his way. The sudden avalanche of these insinuations raised questions. Had people been afraid to speak up before because of Reynolds' Hollywood clout? Then came the reappearance of old interviews featuring Jake Gyllenhaal. In one snippet, Gyllenhaal seemed oddly evasive about his feud with Reynolds, vaguely implying there was more beneath the surface. At the time, fans took it as playful comedic tension. Now, reinterpreted through the lens of current controversies, certain watchers claim it was a coded caution about Reynolds' true nature. Still, none of these revelations amounted to conclusive proof. For every story painting Reynolds as orchestrating sabotage, there were dozens of people praising him as a generous collaborator. Puzzle remained unsolved, but the sheer volume of suspicion started to overshadow his beloved persona. The charming, irreverent star now found himself in a quagmire of doubts, where even die-hard supporters had to wonder if their favorite actor wasn't as harmless as he seemed. And the more evidence stacked up, the more likely it appeared that Reynolds' involvement ran far deeper than providing moral support to his wife. While the spotlight often shifted to Reynolds' alleged backroom dealings, Blake Lively wasn't off the hook. Her public image had been that of the congenial superstar who juggled motherhood, style, and consistent roles in both TV and film. Yet, as the lawsuits piled up, critical eyes turned on Lively, especially when older on-set footage and interviews began recirculating on fan accounts and gossip columns. In one resurfaced video, Lively could be seen laughing intimately with Baldoni during a break in filming, their conversation apparently charged with warm familiarity. To some, it was an innocent moment between colleagues. To others, it was evidence that Lively had been far more comfortable around Baldoni than she let on when the accusations surfaced. Social media sleuths dissected every second, from the way she angled her head to the playful banter that hinted at more than just a professional bond. Complicating matters, screenshots of text messages, allegedly from Lively, hinted that she was prepared to unleash her dragons to protect herself. In typical internet fashion, speculation ran wild. Were these dragons an allusion to powerful PR agents, cunning attorneys, or a metaphor for her personal influence within the industry? Regardless, the subtext was clear. She claimed to hold enough power to shield those she cared about and potentially burn those who crossed her. Meanwhile, fans who had long adored Lively began to express uncertainty. The mounting evidence suggested she might have engineered or at least participated in a narrative that painted Baldoni as a predatory figure. Was she the driving force behind these allegations, or was she acting defensively, worried about genuine harassment on set? Individuals who had once stood firmly in her corner started questioning if they had the full story. Some argued that her newly revealed messages contradicted her claims of feeling intimidated, while others pointed out that feelings can change drastically once a relationship, be it friendly or professional, sours. Even more surprising was the broader context surrounding her legal filings. Reports emerged that Lively's team had been slow to file essential documents, missing deadlines and prompting accusations of stalling. The question lingered. Was her legal strategy falling apart, or was it a calculated delay to gather more incriminating evidence against Baldoni? Under the microscope of public scrutiny, any small slip could look like a sign of guilt. Till Lively held firm, showing no signs of retreat. The deeper question remained. Could she emerge from this legal storm with her pristine star image intact? Amid all the chaos, an unexpected chorus of voices emerged, some in support of Baldoni, others fiercely loyal to Lively and Reynolds. Publicists, family members, co-stars from past projects, and industry insiders all found themselves weighing in, whether in official statements or cryptic posts that only heightened the drama. Justin Baldoni's father made headlines by publicly criticizing Lively's legal team, accusing them of dragging their feet. His frustration symbolized the emotional toll the battle was taking on those close to Baldoni. He voiced indignation that these legal matters were overshadowing Baldoni's philanthropic work and philanthropic image, an aspect of his career that many fans admired. The father's stance emboldened Baldoni's supporters, who blasted Lively on social media, demanding she stop slandering a good man. On the other side, a wave of celebrities quietly rallied around Lively. Some posted supportive messages, praising her courage in speaking out. Others shared cryptic commentary about believing women, fueling speculation that there could be more allegations yet to come. Meanwhile, fans of Reynolds refused to accept the possibility that their comedic hero was capable of such manipulative behavior, calling the rumors baseless and typical smear attempts. The media ate it all up. Headlines broadcast each new twist. Hollywood power couple under siege. Baldoni fires back with damning evidence. Secret texts expose tensions at the heart of blockbuster production. Talk shows debated the morality of passing judgment before all facts were in, while podcasts dissected every snippet of leaked audio or suspicious social media follow. The cycle became self-perpetuating. Fresh revelations spurred new coverage, which spurred further leaks, which then reignited public debate. Adding to the frenzy were the unexpected lawsuits filed by third parties, such as crisis publicists claiming defamation. These smaller suits complicated the story, painting a picture of a feud that had spiraled so far out of control that even peripheral players were being dragged into the fray. For many fans, it felt like a soap opera come to life, one with extremely high stakes given the star power involved. Yet behind the spectacle, real careers and reputations hung in the balance. Once the media cycle moves on, these legal actions can have lasting consequences that no amount of PR might fix. When accusations first broke, public opinion largely favored Blake Lively. She was seen as an empowering figure standing up for herself, possibly exposing harassment in a fiercely competitive industry. For a while, #IStandWithBlake trended, and some corners of social media painted Baldoni as a manipulative opportunist attempting to overshadow a female co-star's star power. But as new evidence surfaced, old interviews, on-set interactions, private text messages, this wave of support began to erode. Suddenly, fans noticed potential contradictions in Lively's statements. Threads compiled every piece of footage showing her warmly interacting with Baldoni, analyzing each second to see if her claims of feeling threatened matched her visible comfort. Others pointed out that if Lively truly felt unsafe or harassed, it seemed odd that she had glowing words for Baldoni's directing style even after filming wrapped. This doesn't necessarily disprove her experiences. Victims can hold complicated feelings, but it introduced a layer of doubt for those who initially accepted her version of events at face value. Ryan Reynolds' once flawless public image took a similar hit. Legions of supporters had trouble reconciling the wisecracking family man with someone who might orchestrate a smear campaign. A swirl of unverified claims made it easier for people to question their devotion. If Reynolds was truly manipulating agencies and twisting the media narrative, what else might he have done behind closed doors? Though many fans remain loyal, the shadow of suspicion looms large. In the midst of this upheaval, Justin Baldoni experienced a cautious upswing in public sympathy. Rumors of sabotage by Reynolds, combined with the sense that Lively's accusations were becoming murky, gave Baldoni's story new credibility. Individuals who had once scoffed at the notion of a Hollywood power couple targeting him began to see him as someone genuinely wronged, possibly scapegoated in a larger drama he never intended. Yet, his own lawsuit exposed him to criticism too. Those who believed Lively's story accused him of flipping the narrative and victim-blaming the actress. This shift in sentiment reveals just how fickle the court of public opinion can be. One day you're a hero, the next day a villain, and then suddenly you're somewhere in between. For fans and observers, it's dizzying. But for the stars at the center, the stakes are higher than mere internet chatter. Lost deals, severed partnerships, and tarnished reputations could haunt them long after the hype fades. And with each side refusing to surrender, it's a story that continues to add new twists almost every day. Legal experts say we're only at the beginning of this explosive saga. Lawsuits can drag on for months, if not years, as both parties unearth documents, interview witnesses, and scramble to shape the narrative in their favor. Already, Baldoni's team has signaled plans to introduce more hard evidence, presumably texts, emails, or recordings that might solidify the claim of deliberate sabotage. Lively's attorneys, meanwhile, have indicated they'll reveal additional details supporting her allegations of workplace misconduct. Industry insiders are speculating about settlement possibilities. Could all parties reach a confidential agreement, shutting down the drama behind closed doors? If so, that might protect reputations but leave fans clamoring for answers. Another possibility is a lengthy trial that goes public, featuring star-studded witnesses and shocking testimonies that put private Hollywood dealings on full display. Either way, the ripple effect might reshape relationships across the industry, from agency dynamics to the credibility of star-driven PR campaigns. Financial stakes also loom large. Baldoni's defamation claim succeeds, Lively and Reynolds could face massive damages, potentially in the millions. On the flip side, if Lively's harassment accusations gain traction, she might demand restitution for emotional or professional harm. Meanwhile, Reynolds' involvement could cost him brand partnerships and deals that hinge on his squeaky clean image. Even for wealthy celebrities, the potential for losing multi-million-dollar contracts stings. Beyond the money, the intangible reputational cost is enormous. Once trust erodes in Hollywood, it's tough to rebuild. Studio heads might hesitate before greenlighting a project starring any of the involved parties until this scandal resolves. Colleagues might think twice before forging alliances. And fans, whose loyalty can make or break ticket sales, could drift if they feel betrayed by contradictory statements or blatant manipulations. With so many variables in play, the next stage of this story is sure to be just as dramatic, if not more so, than what's already unfolded. What began as murmurings of on-set tension has spiraled into a headline-grabbing legal spectacle, captivating the public and shaking the foundations of Hollywood's star hierarchy. Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni now find themselves in an unprecedented situation where personal relationships, professional ambitions, and public perception have collided in the harshest possible light. The questions raised are monumental. Did jealousy spark a conspiracy to ruin a rising director's career? Did a respected actress fabricate or exaggerate claims to shield herself, or is she bravely standing against unwanted advances? And how did the once-adored Reynolds end up at the center of accusations suggesting cold, calculated sabotage? As each lawsuit evolves, new truths might emerge that flip our understanding all over again. Hollywood has seen plenty of scandals, but rarely do they involve an A-list couple and a director so openly at war, and with such tangled, contradictory stories. Ultimately, it's a stark reminder that beneath every red carpet facade, real people grapple with raw emotions, personal insecurities, and complicated power dynamics. Will the final outcome expose shocking deception, or will it prove some allegations baseless? Are we witnessing the downfall of a beloved Hollywood pair, or the survival of a relationship tested by rumors and half-truths? Only time and the courts will reveal the full picture. One thing's for sure, this saga is far from over, and every twist in this unfolding epic leaves us with more questions than answers. Stay tuned, because in the world of Hollywood, there's always another jaw-dropping revelation waiting just around the corner.